So a performance of power, confidence and skill sees New Zealand round off the Rugby Championship in style. And I thought you were going to score.
Ask a better question, you get a better answer.
Hi guys, welcome back. So a massive win for New Zealand, 40 points to 14 over Australia. Yeah, a bit of a destruction in the end, finishing at home in style. And what a turnaround New Zealand have had in this Rugby Championship, finishing with a dominant pack, a great set piece. A clear game plan, loads of confidence, just completely the opposite to what they started. So yeah, amazing stuff. I'm sure we'll talk about that in the future. But anyway, Australia didn't really help themselves in this game for sure. And it started off straight away with them dumping Papali'i. I think this was Holloway this time. Gets an early yellow. They get in trouble with penalties and yellow cards. Really doesn't help them get into the game away from the home. They needed everything to go their way. Australian second rows maybe getting a bit of a reputation for this sort of thing as well. Anyway, Australia, they look in big trouble from this point. Penalties, the scrum, they're really struggling. They struggled all game for sure. Beauden Barrett, magic feet, look great at fullback. To be fair, the whole backline of New Zealand looked great, but Beauden Barrett with the break this time. Australia, they're scrapping hard, they're fighting hard, but already the back's against the wall, keeping the All Blacks out. It looks like a matter of time, although they do hold them off pretty well. The All Blacks, they're looking confident. They're looking to run from deep. I mean, sometimes I do get a bit scared that they run from deep too much. I mean, when they're on this sort of form, you say fair enough, but it definitely gave Australia a few chances and they could have taken some in this first half. I just wonder if they do need to kick for territory a little bit more. You look at the scoreboard and you say, well, clearly it works, but I don't know, let me know if I'm being too conservative there or if they just need to keep chancing their arm. And to be fair to Australia, in attack, they always look dangerous. That wasn't really their problem in this game. I mean, they've got lots of dangerous runners, the likes of Kurumbeti, etc. But their discipline, set piece, just didn't let them get in the game. 20 minutes though, it's 0-0, so Australia will take that. Plenty of attacking intent from both teams. New Zealand, I think they just need to exert some concerted pressure because they've had great attacks, but they haven't really stayed there for a while and squeezed Australia. They do get an early penalty, which they kick just to get on the board, so 3-0 New Zealand. On 22 minutes, we actually see the New Zealand attack really start to pop finally, carrying super hard, but with loads of options around them. It really is almost the perfect team try where they use their hands, they carry hard, they offload, could feet. I mean, it's as good as it gets. Will Jordan with rocket shoes just to get away into space. Classy try, absolutely loved it. 10-0. So that's the breakthrough they needed. It took a while, but they got it. And Australia just aren't helping themselves. They get a chance to get on the board with 3 points, but Wright runs it and chips the ball away and just gives New Zealand an attack straight back, and they counter pretty much the length of the pitch. Penalty, 5 metre line out, huge maul, collapse, penalty try and a yellow card. That in itself was just an epitome of the game for Australia. Had a chance to score some points, kick the ball away. New Zealand ruthless cut up the other end, try and a yellow card. Parecki, I think, this time. So, just a horror show at this point. 17-0. Now, Australia, they're in all sorts of trouble. The game's slipping away. They've just got to tidy up, get back into the game. They fight hard, like I said. They're dangerous, but they're just far too messy. Now, is this what the doctor ordered from Australia? The attack comes to the rescue. Clever front line out move. Catches the All Blacks unaware. Samu, who's been dangerous all tournament, takes the ball up to 5 metres out. Really nice hands to squeeze Corambetti in the corner. It looks like a try, but it is ruled out, which is a big blow. So that's another big blow for Australia. Just from that one there where Wright gives the ball away and they concede a try. They don't actually get given the try here. It's a penalty advantage. They batter away and it's held up. So that's a huge moment there. No, 2 huge moments. They could have scored 10 points potentially and they get nothing. Now, towards the end of the first half, the All Blacks just running out a bit of steam, giving away a few penalties themselves, giving Australia some good scoring chances. But Australia are down to 14 men, which doesn't help. Plenty of Australia pressure. The All Blacks defence has been good and is good all game. Very well organised, loving the big hits as well. Looking to nil Australia in this first half, which they do. The All Blacks, they love a good counter-attack. We know that when the ball is kicked to them. Another beauty, Jordan again providing the speed. nearly creates a try, but Australia, last minute penalties hanging in there tight. The All Blacks know, they could kill this game off, but maybe they're being a bit too audacious. I don't know. But anyway, half-time 17-0, as good as it gets on the scoreboard for the All Blacks. Now, at the beginning of the second half, Australia need to get into this and quick. Parecki, whose game hasn't been great so far, just gets a bit worse. Wonky line-out throw at the worst time gives New Zealand a great chance. They batter away, and it looks like Whitelock had lost control of the ball, but somehow, with his big mitt, he keeps hold of the end of the ball and just grounds it. So a killer blow there, 24-0, just after half-time. Ouch. And New Zealand, the defence, no holes in it. Australia hitting hard, but New Zealand are just bashing them back. So that was impressive as well. Now let's just talk about the New Zealand backline. It's looking great, possibly the best lineup so far. Geordie Barrett at 12 had a fantastic game, carried so hard, busted tackles. The best carrying option they've got at 12 at the moment, it looks. Definitely a better carrier than Havili, plus he's got the skills as well. So, to me, he looks a better option than Havili if you've got all these other players available. Obviously, Barrett can play a lot of other positions. They're freeing up Jordan. Clark's causing problems. Beauden Barrett in the backfield. Mwanga's obviously no slouch as well. And then you've got Ioane, possibly the most dangerous, running 13 in the game. So it looks absolutely lethal. And when the All Blacks pack are firing as they are, it's a recipe for absolute disaster for the opposition. Anyway, they knock over another penalty, 27-0. It's looking just absolutely awful for Australia. So they bring on the subs really early, but it doesn't work. The scrum's still struggling. And it's an easy maul try for Taylor. They just power over. No real defence from Australia there. 32-0. I mean, the game is lost. We know that. It's just a question of how much. And certainly points difference is big in this game. I mean, at the time of recording, I don't know if they win the Rugby Championship, but with the points difference they managed to get, it looks highly likely. Anyway, then a bit of a sniff for Australia, or a little bit of consolation. Mwanga gets his clearance kick charged down. Really nice interplay from Australia, creates the try for Fainga'a. So that was good, 32-7. I mean, it's too late, but at least they're not on zero. But the All Black Packs, completely dominant. They know it. They're pushing for extra tries. Australia having to panic, having to throw the ball around, knock on their own line. I think it's right there. So, not a great game for him either. And then they go for another maul. Loads of other players join in as well. So it's like a 10-man maul sort of thing. Takiaho just fresh on, smashes over. Taylor had a decent game, but I still think Takiaho, by far, their best hooker. But he smashes over 37-7. And let's say it how it is. It's just a demolition on Australia for sure. They had that period in the first half where they could have got into the game and they didn't, partly down to their own fault as well. But, that's just how it is. Got to take your chances if you want to have a chance against New Zealand at home. And the last 10 minutes is pretty sloppy, to be fair. Both sides doing some good stuff and then mucking it up. But, that's not a problem for New Zealand because, they're well ahead. They knock over another 3 points eventually after desperately trying to score tries. They think, okay, let's just take a few more points, 40 points to 7. And then the last try goes to Australia. I don't think it'll affect the Rugby Championship, but New Zealand would have wanted every point they could have for points difference, but Bataya scores the last try as Australia batter away at the line. So 40 points to 14 in the end. Great game, really exciting. Australia got to tidy up. They can't be that sloppy, penalty-wise, yellow card-wise, and their pack really struggled against this rejuvenated New Zealand side. So, on New Zealand, is this the team that's going to take them into the World Cup? Well, it looks a lot better than the one that started this Rugby Championship. Anyway, guys, all the comments on that game below, and I'll catch you next time.